So somehow I put movement at the last thing on my list, but actually it's the only practice that I keep, or if I forget everything else. Here is the idea. We are animals, and naturally animals constantly in nature, they constantly release tensions. You see dogs, birds, observe any animal, they are constantly navigating between being in action, going, whether it's I need to feed myself, or I'm escaping some kind of a danger, I'm being playful, whatever's going on, it's always met with moments of shaking. And us humans, we have forgotten that. So we keep our emotions, we store them inside our bodies, we forget to just release. We know intuitively, unconsciously that we need to release. That's why we go clubbing on Saturday nights. But we usually wait to get drunk, and it's 2 a.m. and others are dancing to dare to actually shake. But some people will say, well, if I don't have my release moments, if I don't go out on Saturday night, I cannot function. I need this moment where I completely let myself go. And you can replace the disco on Saturday night by going to rave parties, by going to a Zumba class, by running like a maniac for hundreds of kilometers for those, or going to the gym and lifting weights, or having unconscious sex. Whatever it is, we all have our own way of somehow releasing the tensions in the body. And we know that we feel so much better after we have some kind of a physical practice, and ideally one when we're running like crazy, or exercising like crazy, or dancing like crazy. So somehow we experience and we feel that those moments of releases in the bodies feel so good. Yet we don't know how to do it consciously. We don't make it a practice. But the intention with a daily practice of shaking, of releasing, it's very important to breathe through the mouth, because that's how we release the tensions, is through the mouth. This is how you laugh. This is how you cry. This is how you have an orgasm. It's always through mouth breathing. And we've been conditioned in our crazy culture to only breathe through the nose. You know, we've been conditioned in yoga, in Pilates, in you know, this idea of nose breathing as a religion. It's fantastic from a functional breathing perspective, but it's detrimental from an emotional release perspective. And that's the bit that is always missing when I look online at videos on nose versus mouth breathing is, you know, let's come back to, I call it get out of the way breathing. When you get out of the way, this is through the mouth that you're breathing. And as much as I love my nose breathing on an everyday basis, I consciously breathe through my mouth when I dance, when I move, to allow emotions to come. And it's not uncommon that rage can come. Right now I'm staying at my parents', and we are going through some tough discussions, because I want to bring up staff, you know, I want them to be able to receive. They are both sick, and I want to help them, and at the same time, I want to give myself permission to express what's going on, and it's very confrontational at times. So having these moments where I can fully let myself go, and you know, I like to say, I dance like a crazy man, so I don't become crazy. I'm just gonna make a pose to let you admire this beautiful swan. I don't know if you can see it. Come and say hi. Yes. So beautiful swan. So yeah, that's on the importance of a daily practice of shaking and movement, and at the same time, there's tons of science now on how emotions are stuck in different parts of the body, whether it's anger, shame, frustration, sadness. There is an anatomy of it. You know, some emotions, I don't want to go into all the details today. I'll happy to do it in another video, but we have stuff, you know, if you don't express yourself, it's going to be in your jaw. If you've seen things you should not have seen, it's going to be in your eyes. You know, things that we don't digest, of course, they are in the belly. I mean, we always use those expressions, but they are actually literal. So having a moment where we go through the body, and when we shake and we move and release the tensions throughout all the body, is an amazing opportunity to to let go of those tensions. I do believe that this single practice is the antidote to sickness, is the antidote to disease. Because if we look at the word disease, what would be the antidote to disease is ease. You know, the opposite of disease is ease. So if we can start bringing ease in the body, if I don't have muscular tension anymore, if all the, you know, signs of, hey, my body's talking to me, all of a sudden I bring some relaxation in my body and no more tension, then there is no space for sickness. There is no space for disease. I'm going to just live in bliss and joy. And very often I have this, I share a lot today. Maybe I'll put that video out, but I have one of the things I do in the morning practice is I talk to my inner child. I call it mon petit bonhomme, my little guy. And it's a 5-year-old Alex, and it's an 8-year-old Alex. And I have a lot of sadness, even just mentioning his name, my tears are coming. I have a lot of sadness for the child that I was. And the idea is that I take a moment, could be 15 minutes, could be half an hour, where I just speak to him. And I guess it's what some others will do when they talk to God. And I don't have this connection to God, but I have this connection, and we all have this connection to our inner child and our little self. And those moments are where I actually cry a lot, and I release, and I share with him what happened, and I feel sorry for what happened to me in the past. And my point is, I do this, but it's a practice. And because I make it a practice to connect to these parts of me and to welcome all parts of me, I then don't need to do that for the rest of the day. So my secret to being in joy and in bliss is to contain the narratives in the morning practice. The morning practice, I will have a moment where I allow myself to completely collapse. Sometimes I'm on the ground crying. Yeah, and the locals here in Paris, they completely think I'm crazy, but in Bali, they are used to me of sometimes being collapsed on the side of the road, completely melting on the floor and crying. And I'm crying because my parents forced me to wear a ridiculous outfit when I was 5 years old. I'm not crying about something that's going on right now in my life. You know, I'm releasing the shame that I was carrying when I was 6 years old, and my parents forced me to wear a traditional outfit from Austria to go to school, and I was not allowed to say no. And I'm giving permission to 5-year-old or 6-year-old Alex to finally scream and cry and express how angry he was to wear this outfit. So I go through these moments according to what's happening in my present time, because here is the thing. If something triggers you in your everyday life, 99%, it refers you to something way older. So you may think, oh, I'm angry at my husband, oh, my kid is annoying me, or this guy is not behaving in a nice way, and I'm really pissed. When those moments happen, be excited, because you're getting a gateway to something very deep inside of you that has not been resolved, that has not been integrated. And that's often what I bring to meditation and to breathwork. If I have something that triggers me in my day, I grab it, I journal about it. I says, okay, cool. Here is something that really, I feel a tension in my body. I have now the habit of holding on to it. I park it for later, and then in my morning practice, I feel into it. I breathe into it a lot, and then all of a sudden, very old memories come. And this might sound completely woo-woo and weird to some of you, but some things don't belong to me. Some things belong to my ancestors that are just coming. I don't even know where they're coming from. So I don't really think of a memory. It might just be something that, oh, fuck, this, I don't know why this is, but I feel something. And then I give myself permission to release it. Then I do the shaking. If there are tears that are coming or screaming, I let it out. Some people often come to me and they tell me, Alex, I don't know how to dance. I don't dance, and they feel very awkward. But my ex-partner told me that one. Dance that you don't want to dance in that moment. How does I feel awkward, I don't want to dance look like? And allow your dance practice to be a deep connection to yourself, and dance like you want to dance, like it looks in your body. And for me, there are two ways to move that I really want to share. The first one is to follow my bliss. So I will look at places in my body that feel good, and I just follow them. And I enjoy that. Okay, so maybe there is like, oh, okay, it feels good to release my lower back, and I will just bring that kind of movement. And in my dance, I will allow that, and I will allow my arms to move with it. And I follow my bliss of allowing the movements, because often I call the hands the stethoscopes. The hands usually know where to go, and maybe I will allow myself to do some, I will touch myself at the same time, because we've been told that we cannot touch ourselves. You know, if you're a kid and you touch yourself, it's very often associated with something sexual. And in the eyes of our parents anyway, say, oh, if someone is doing this, is, oh, come on, get a room, man. You know, like this is not appropriate. So we've lost this connection with ourselves because of that. So taking a moment when we dance to actually feel our body and enjoy this connection to our body and reclaim our bodies is a wonderful opportunity. The other approach is to follow my pain points. So I have a lot of pain in my body. So instead of that, I will really go into, okay, now I have nerves pains in my right arm a lot. So I will really, it hurts when I do this, but I will consciously just go inside the pain, and I'm just going to breathe in the pain. And I'm just going to breathe in the pain. Wherever the pain is in your body, just get a moment of stillness there and just breathe into it. And allow the body to talk to you. I have this expression that we have, lost the connection with, called, I love my body. But for me, when I say I love my body, is I love the manifestations in my body. I don't love the way I look in the mirror, which is often what we think of. Oh, I love my body. I love the shape. No, I love my body. I love the pain. I love the nerve pain in my right arm, because it's my body talking to me. It's my body telling me, hey, pay attention to me. You don't pay attention. And often it's, of course, something emotional that I'm not really seeing just yet. Yeah. So my invitation is really to have a moment every day where you love your body, where you connect deeply to your body, when you give permission to your body to express itself, and then you listen. And then you truly listen to what the body has to say. And then either you have a moment where you follow your bliss or you follow your pain, and you just really shake. Last thing, and then we'll put some music. Bring sounds. Sounds are very important. And again, most of us have been told that sounds are not okay. It's not appropriate. Again, all these things that our society is shutting down. But the beauty of being in your own homes is that you can really let yourself go. But how do you have an orgasm? Through a sound. How do you laugh? How do you cry? Through sounds. So they are also the gateway to our emotions. So you can reverse engineer it. So when you're moving, bring sounds. When you bring sounds into movement, they will be the gateway to your repressed emotions. So it's not a small thing. So next, let's bring some sounds. I'm not going to make it too loud from my side because I want you to enjoy the music, but I would be screaming, I would be crying, and I would not feel any shame and guilt. That's the job. Don't put any, oh my God, what am I doing? I need to turn off the camera. That's not appropriate, like all these things, all those narratives. I think we need to do the opposite. We need to show the world what actually integration looks like. We're constantly, and that's really what this 1 month is about. We are always constantly looking for answers outside. Find me a healer, find me a therapist, find me someone who knows better. Let's find a new podcast and I will follow. And the truth is, we have all the answers inside. And with all those modalities, this is really a way to empower people to find all they need and access freedom from within and no longer need anything or anyone to tell you what you need to do with your body and give your sovereignty to someone, some authority or someone else. Because we are all different, there is not one practice that solves it all, but all those modalities, for each of them, it's a little bit like a buffet that I want you to have access to. You'll find something that gets you to access something that has been buried, and then you can finally uncover. Okay, so that's it, my friends. Oh, one last announcement, and then we'll dance. I'll put in the group. I saw yesterday something really cool, and that inspired me for my group. So I saw that in Israel, in Jerusalem, they have a restaurant where if you sit down and you have one Muslim and one Israeli or Jewish eating together, the menu is half price. And I love that because we live in a world where there is so much rejection and it's either bad or it's good. I'm right, and if I'm right, you're wrong. I want us to bring to replace the word or by the word and. Instead of I am right or I'm wrong, it says I am right and I am wrong. I like, for instance, if I look at myself, I'm very generous and I'm a crazy tight ass. I'm super nice and open and I am super closed. So it's not like there is one way and we are one thing and not the other. No, we are complex human beings and there are parts of us that are behaving in a certain way, another way. And we need to have this mindset when we connect to others. Otherwise, it's so easy to feel, oh my God, my ex-husband is wrong and I am right. And with these narratives, we create, unfortunately, the world we live in right now. So here is my idea. I have created a little present, little amazing infographic that I did yesterday, and I will give it to those who invite in the group someone they don't like, someone they have a lot of resistance with. So I want us to actually break the patterns and break the narratives, and instead of like calling our friends and people we feel close to, let's bring on the people that maybe need this the most, and then we feel a lot of resistance to connect with. And once you do that, you send me a private message, and then I send you a little present. So let's do things differently in this group, and including how we interact in the world. In the meantime, there is a beautiful rain that is here coming. So we're gonna be dancing. I put some music, and at the end, I'm gonna go in the river. I've been cold to go into the river because it's cold out there. It's starting to rain. I can't think of a better weather for going in the river. So enjoy, my friends, some music now.